Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 209 of the High Sensitivity Podcast, and thank you for listening. If it's your first time here, we talk about video game and movie news, as well as we watched or played over the week. My name is Barry, along with my super paper friends.
My name is Craig.
That's a robot.
I was trying to do some like 1,000-Year Door reference, but I'm not gonna open that door. There we go.
My name is also Craig. Barry, I'm glad you could take time away from your in-depth YouTube conversations to be here with us.
Oh, it's funny. I'm mentioning in the podcast today, so I'm glad.
Let's go.
I'm glad you saw them as well.
I saw them.
Oh,
Do we just want to start off with that then?
Yeah, we might as well.
Is there a transition to news with just that news?
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna mention it because, one, I do appreciate people who share their opinions and can engage in some sort of conversation when it comes to talking about video games, and it's just a very small regular shout out to, let's see here, I have his name written down here, Jimmy Mac 2292. I'm not sure how long he's been watching the podcast for, but he and I went into quite the discussion about video games and stuff like that. Now, Craig, you obviously read it or read what was going on.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I mean, it's good discussion, right?
Yeah, it is.
I didn't have anything bad to say. It was good discussion. It was cool to see somebody kind of debating your point a little bit is all.
Well, yeah, and I definitely, looking back at it, I definitely see where I can come off as an Xbox hater. I try not to be. I try.
You're the PlayStation lover. I'm the Xbox lover.
Yeah, but I try to be just as critical of both.
More of a PlayStation lover.
Yeah, you are more of a PlayStation guy.
If PlayStation were to do something similar, I would also act out that way, just so we're all aware. But yeah, I just wanted to give him just a shout out, just because very rarely do we get into any conversation these days, whether it's anything a matter of opinion, usually ends in an argument and someone telling another person to piss off.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's just the way the world goes right now, and he was very calm in his demeanor and presence. So I appreciate that, and hopefully we can debate even more. Maybe that's what he just needs to comment, and I'll debate in every single one of these podcasts.
Well, and also debating is heavily embedded in the gaming culture. We're all ace attorneys when it comes to what we like.
True.
In terms of gaming, so.
Yeah, but my point is not to demean him in any way. It's very rare that you can have a conversation with anyone without feeling terrible. So I just wanted to give him a big shout out, because I mentioned to people to comment on these things, and he actually did. So thank you.
Fantastic.
Let's go ahead and get into the news then this week, where we have there's not a lot coming out, but that's probably because we have Summer Games Fest next week. At the time that this comes out, it will be next week that it comes out. But we do have a couple things. Neil Druckmann is getting flamed online for his take that whatever new game that they're coming out is going to change the landscape of gaming, and then also mention the use of AI and how it would help gaming, where a lot of people are like, well, AI is going to take jobs, AI is going to do this, but he clamors it as something that's going to be kind of good for the gaming community and make things faster, so people aren't waiting as long for games. I'm going to abstain from having an opinion here. AI is going to take away jobs, but I also see AI can be used in a way that helps people and helps their jobs. So I don't want to demean that, but Neil Druckmann coming out and saying that his game is going to change the foundation of gaming. It's like, man, your games are good. Don't get me wrong, but changing the foundation of anything is quite difficult, and it'd have to be really gosh darn good to do so.
Yeah, I mean, there's an argument that their first one did, in many sense, but I'm interested to see what type of game can change the gaming landscape at this point, because there's so much recreation of the same type of principles, and there's games like throughout the timeline that have tried something new that now everybody puts into their game in some form or fashion. So like, where's the next big idea, like big idea, to where you see 20% of not only just your subgenre but other games in across the landscape using some type of algorithm or pattern or setup, character, whatever gameplay, that accessibility that you're going to include. Like, what's the next big one? Speaking of AI, we were talking about that, and like, while I also abstain from that comment, you can't argue that Microsoft just is releasing a huge step forward. At least in what seemingly it's capable. So like, what's the gaming version of that is what I'm asking. Like, what is that, and what could Neil Druckmann and team be cooking up, conjuring?
Just so everyone's aware, Craig is talking about Microsoft's reveal of the AI recall that they will be embedding into their computers. You guys can do research as to what you want to do with that, but we're not so much a technology podcast as a gaming.
We aren't.
One, so just do your research on what you will there. It's got a lot to do with privacy and stuff like that, but leave it at that. Next one up for me is Nintendo Store is going to be built in San Francisco. This is now going to be the second location in the United States, where New York City is the housing of the first one. It's kind of surprising to me that there really is only two, or there's about to be two here in the United States. I hope they do well enough that they continue to make more, but it's been taking forever to get anything out to here. So I'm all for it. Not that I'm going there. I'd have to go to San Francisco. It's a long way.
New York's closer, right?
It is.
I've never been to that one.
A quick train will get you there.
Sure. A quick train. I love that.
To be fair, it's not necessarily anything too crazy. Like, unless there's a new game coming out, like there's always this big mural of like Mario sliding down like one of the posts at the end of his level. But sometimes when there's a new game release, they do like Zelda, exhibit type stuff. They do Splatoon or Smash Bros type stuff as well. So it's just nice to see that more people get the chance to get one. Because imagine people from like California have to go to New York to get anything Nintendo related. So that's
true.
Big thing in itself. The Black Ops 6 reveal. What did we think of that?
Yeah. That's how I normally feel about Black Ops, mainly until I play it. Like, that's just not. I just don't get as excited for that one, unfortunately.
I like Black Ops as a whole, the series, but Call of Duty this past year is kind of, I wouldn't say soured, but like I care less. I'm glad it's supposedly going to be on Game Pass. Say that.
Yeah.
As we continue to wait for confirmation about that, which we may get in June here. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true.
I then have one person beat Super Mario 64 without pressing the A button. It took 86 hours to do. Apparently, this is an attempt and speed run that's done by many people. But to think you do have to utilize some glitches and things like that in order for it to work. But I think that's kind of cool. You can beat a game without using one of the main mechanics of it, jumping.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Oh, the old games.
I'll have to look that up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, watch all 86 hours and let us know.
Yeah. I will. I'll do exactly that.
In-depth analysis.
Yep.
And lastly, for my news, is that Bungie wins a court case against Phoenix Digital, owner of the mod site Aim Junkies. Pretty much the only reason this is a big deal, and they're only getting paid out about $70K. But whenever a judge makes a decision on these types of things, it sets a precedent for other cases that are like it. This is going to be one of the first ones to where a mod site was that, it sells / you can download, aimbots in game is found to be against terms of conditions for a website, for a game even. And that makes a precedent for other places that also sell these aimbots or tools that allow you to cheat in an online game that's, quote unquote competitive.
Yeah.
Look, I'm all for getting cheating out of games. Like you can cheat in your game as long as it's not affecting other people's fun. That's what I'll say. I
Yeah, if you want to
Agreed.
cheat in like a single player, sure. You know what I mean? Like there used to be cheat codes for games all the time, but when you start cheating in multiplayer, that's where I have an issue.
That's all I got for
That's
news.
agreed.
All right. I got a bunch of Xbox stuff today. First and foremost, Xbox Showcase you just were talking about is coming up. The rumored games to be shown, the ones that I found interesting anyway. Doom Dark Ages is supposed to be
Okay.
shown off. Should also be multi-platform, not just on Xbox. Another Gears, a Gears 1 through 3 remaster. Obviously, Black Ops 6, Avowed with a
Yep,
date.
that's right.
Fable, more Fable, and then another more Indiana Jones with a date. Are we excited for any of those?
Gears.
Go first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go Wars. Is that what you said?
And Doom.
No, I was saying go first, but I was looking at you and
Okay.
didn't say your name. I was like, go first. Just to anybody. Um, I but to mirror your statement, Gears for me as well. Uh, Not just the fact that there is a 6 out for all gear. Are gear heads? Is that the name you call people who love Gears of War?
I don't
Gearheads?
know.
I
I
don't
don't know
know.
about
Maybe.
that.
I'm excited for a possible remaster for 1 through 3 for
Yes.
somebody like me, because a couple of years ago, they did the same thing with. Oh my god, I'm forgetting the game.
Halo.
No, Craig.
Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason why I'm making this correlation is they did that remake for all those, and that made a lot of quality of life things better for the first one.
Yep.
Same thing with Gears. I would like a Gears 1 through 3 remaster because selfishly, I tried the first 50 minutes to an hour, and it's rough just because it was 2023 when I tried, and visually. And also just a little bit of the sluggishness of the gameplay it felt. I could give it a college try again, but that's what I would also be excited for, to be honest with you, especially if it possibly maybe came out before. I don't know, but in any case, I don't know. What else are you guys excited for?
It's primarily that, like Indiana Jones, I'm good with as well. I never really got into the Doom games. Maybe I'm now more of an adult to like Doom. But we have to see. But it's going to be primarily those two that I'm excited for. I am very skeptical of Avowed and Fable. So until
Same.
Avowed, I guess we've seen what we're going to see from that. So I'll probably wait for reviews. But again, it's on Game Pass. So
Yep. Yeah, definitely try it.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, and some more Xbox news. This one was very interesting to me. They're reporting that the next Xbox, which I talked about a little bit last week, right, 2026, it's going to reportedly be a reference design for third-party manufacturers, which is very interesting. They likened it to the Surface Pro, or like the Ally or something. They're going to come up with, from what I could tell, the model of it will be then made by third party, if that makes sense. So you won't have like just the Xbox whatever. It'll be like the Asus Xbox or whatever. Interesting idea. Kind of like they're getting out of the console game, but not getting out of the console game, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah, it feels like it's kind of the whole thing with like the Steam Decks right now, where there's like the Steam Deck, there's the Lenovo something, the Asus Ally, one of them is Ally. But like it's kind of like that sort of thing where you're going to get third parties who make this, and it makes sense. Everybody kind of says that you lose money on the console, and you make up your money in games, subscriptions, and accessories, to where if the third party's doing it, then they're taking the cost.
Yep.
Not so much you. So maybe it means more financial wellness for Xbox.
What do you guys think the profit is for, let's say, $500 PS5?
They don't
What do you
make
think
anything. They lose.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if it was even like a couple of dollars, like $1.57 is the
Last
actual
I heard,
profit.
it was like wasn't it like over 100 they lose on each one?
I thought it was like 50 or 45. I didn't think it was that much.
I know
Still.
they definitely lose for sure. Because I mean, if you think about it, like I remember seeing when that came out, like the $500 Xbox was equivalent at the time to like $1,000 PC, pretty much. Now, obviously, they're getting their parts for cheaper, but they're definitely taking a hit. So is Sony and Xbox. I don't know about Nintendo. Nintendo may be cutting even, maybe. All right. Next one here. This one is news for Barry over here. 2K has just secured the FIFA license. How do you feel about that?
Ooh.
I'm good with competition. So EA Sports FC, and 2K doing FIFA. I'm okay with it. I don't know what it will really mean for what they both decide to do.
My
But
player in VC, baby.
yeah, I guess.
You know
I
they
guess.
will.
Yeah, I guess for the most part, I guess 2K will probably do a better job of the like creative player portion,
Right.
because that's where EA Sports kind of lacks the bag, or lacks in that aspect, I should say.
Yep.
But I don't know what a lot to do with these sports games. I don't know what you do to make them different from one another. Soccer is soccer, whether it's played, on PES, or it's played on EA Sports, or it's played on any old FIFA.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing you really do is enhance the graphical capability and try to improve the AI, so that way your defender isn't stupidly making a slide tackle that costs you the game or something like that.
I think the answer is exactly what 2K has done with NBA, even though we both hate on it because it's a money grab. But soccer games have never really had, at least I thought, a compelling like single player or creative player option.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
EA has tried it, and there was those couple years where they had like you didn't create a player, you were playing as somebody, and it had like all those cutscenes. Those were never good. And 2K is good about doing that. They just soak up all the money out of you in the meantime. So I think if they can do that with FIFA, I think that'd be good. Just be prepared to spend $200.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, seriously.
Will you buy both?
Oh, that's tough. I don't think I will.
Okay. Will you stick with EA, or will you
depends.
switch over? Okay.
I want to see what benefits there are. That's why I kind of like it. I like that there's
Yeah.
going to be competition, and that people will have to compete for my money.
True. That's true. In selfish news for us, and not really us, but just because of where we live, I just wanted to point out that the money given to the schools for NCAA college football, Penn State was in the top tier. I just wanted to throw that out there. We are considered a top tier school. There was like 8 of them, and we are considered one of them. So
Okay.
take that, everybody.
Take that, schools.
There's no news there. I just wanted to throw that out because I thought it was kind of cool.
Let them know.
Take that, schools.
Let them know. And then the last thing I have, movie related news. Furiosa just bombed to hell.
Yeah.
It got beat by Garfield.
Yeah.
One of the lowest openings of all time. Honestly, it's up there. I'm not sure why I was excited for this movie. I love Mad Max. I have seen a lot of debate this week. I've heard a lot of debate of like, oh man, movie theaters are dead. This proves it. I don't know that this proves that. I just think that maybe the estimates were a little high for this movie. Mad Max kind of got off to a slow start too, until it kind of that word of mouth was out there. So we'll see. Did any of us see it yet? Because I didn't.
I have not.
I didn't.
I have to beat Rebirth first. Have to.
Yeah.
I'm
excited. I'm excited for it because I think I expressed my love for the latest Mad Max movie.
It's got good reviews too. So like,
we
it's a
talked
good
about
movie.
It last week.
Mm-hmm. It's a great movie. From what I'm seeing, I don't know. I don't go to the movies as much anymore. Obviously, I haven't gone in like 2 or 3 months now. And I think part of it, like I've said before, and I've seen this brought up all week, is the speed at which they're coming to digital now kind of ruins the reason to go to a movie theater.
Agreed.
If I can wait, sometimes it's like 2 or 3 weeks and I can watch it at home, I'm just going to watch it at home. This is the way it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the last thing I had.
All right. I'm going to do a somewhat transition because speaking of Mad Max, somebody who loves Mad Max Furiosa and probably has gone multiple times, don't quote me on that, is Hideo Kojima. In a recent post on X, I almost said Twitter. It's really hard to say.
It would have been okay to say Twitter. Everyone knows.
Yeah. In a recent post on Twitter, he put Mad Max Furiosa in quotations. Anya and Chris are great, but what's even more blinding this time are these two. These two new characters are too cool. The actors who played them are sure to be a breakout hit. Furiosa's mother, Mary, is played by Charlie Frazier, who is also in Anyone But You. Tom Burke plays Jack, Furiosa's mother, and here's where the quote has people talking. I can only see him as Snake. When I met Tom at a party, I asked him about it, and he told me that he was told that he looked like Snake by the crew on the first day of shooting. So, for those of you who don't remember, we were supposed to get a Metal Gear Solid movie. There hasn't been an update in 2 years, and that update was made by the original Snake, I guess the original person slated for Snake, which is Oscar Isaac. So now Metal Gear Solid fans are talking and chattering. You know how something like that was going to stir up, and Hideo knew what he was doing by saying that. But I don't know if you guys really have an opinion. I mean, even Oscar Isaac versus Tom Burke in terms of a Snake. I know I don't know, but I found that pretty funny that Hideo's getting the internet talking.
I don't need a Metal Gear movie. Honestly.
Is it because all Metal Gear Solid games are movies?
Yes.
With the occasional gameplay?
We don't need it. Like, what's the point? It's literally, he made those games based on movies that he loved, right? That's what he said that. So, like, why make a movie off of a game based off of movies? It's so pointless. Like, not every video game needs to be made into a movie. Just leave it alone.
That's the one game where we don't need a movie, just because they really are movies. It takes 55 minutes on average to start moving a controller stick in a Metal Gear Solid game.
Mm-hmm.
55. So I don't know. In relation and not relation to Games Fest, there's a rumor. It's not really in relation, but that the next PlayStation event was going to be a state of play and not a showcase, which the rumor obviously has a little people upset, because that seemingly would limit the amount of different announcements that would come, or the different array of announcements that come. It's also rumored for May, and here we are. This is the last Sunday of May, this is the last Sunday of May that we're doing this particular recording. So I don't know if they still have the content. It really doesn't matter how many things you reveal in a showcase, as we have learned, or a state of play, as we have learned, as long as the content is good, and fruitful and has some dates for us. I don't know.
Yeah.
What would be the number one thing that you guys would be excited for? I think we've done this recently, but now that we're even closer, and maybe might have a state of play this week, depending on what the rumor is, I don't know. Do we have something big? I know we said Wolverine.
Yeah.
We should hear something about the next Metal Gear game, the remake that they're making.
Next Metal Gear game.
Yeah.
And that, like, a date, because they revealed it. Was it this time last year they revealed it, or was it closer? Was it
Snake Eater? Sorry.
Yeah.
Whatever game the people from The Last of Us are working on, Naughty Dog.
Yeah, it's going to change the landscape.
Yeah, it's going to change the gaming
Whatever
landscape
that
as
is.
we knowing.
It's gonna be called Change Landscape. It's gonna literally be. That's what they meant the whole time.
More on Hideo's game.
Yeah.
With Jordan
Maybe,
Peele.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Or Death Stranding too.
Yeah,
That's
that's
out
right.
there.
We do Death Stranding too.
To give you guys a hard date to have to replay it.
I thought about it this week.
I can't play anything else, so we'll get to that.
I was productive this week. All right.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys were. I was not.
Yeah, you were. You were making steady progress.
Yeah, that was Craig and I less than a month ago,
Yeah, it
right?
really was.
Like when Rebirth came out, like, in order to play Rebirth, you have to play it. You can't be playing stuff in between. You have to just play it and just hunker down.
It's true.
And then the last thing I have is the story trailer for Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erd Tree. I just wanted to point light to it, because if you're a nerd like me for Elden Ring, which to tell anybody out there who likes Elden Ring, I am not as learned in the lore. I did a lot of looking up when I was playing that game for the 119 hours I put into it. But I'm a little rusty. So when I was watching that story trailer, I recognized some names, but I was just excited for just the way they tell it. They have a specific way of showing their imagery that really feels specific. It's got the Souls background there. But, you watch that trailer and you can't help but get excited because it reminded me of I don't know if I want to use the word breathtaking, but some images that hit hard in the original Elden Ring. They just know how to show specific things. So I'm excited. For how long it's going to be, I don't know, but it looks like they're creating essentially like 3/4 of a game, in terms of a new amount.
This is Elden Ring 2. For all
it
intents and
definitely
purposes,
is.
this definitely is Elden Ring 2.
So what they're doing, Barry and Craig, is they're doing the reverse Overwatch, where they're calling it DLC, but they're giving us a new game instead of giving us a new game, but it feels like a 1.5.
True. Very true.
So I don't know. I'm excited. It's pre-ordered already for me, obviously, but I just had to shout out Elden Ring for all the Elden Ring nerds out there. Fair. And that's all I have for news.
All right. We can get into games this week. What'd
you play?
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Woo!
Just so you guys have an idea, I've put over, I think 18 hours in 2 days.
Nice.
I'm at 60 hours played.
Sick.
I'm at Nibelheim. It's either getting done tonight or tomorrow.
Good.
You're not getting it done tonight.
Okay.
Let's be honest.
Now I have an idea. Now I have an idea of how.
You're not getting it done tonight.
No, it's still gonna be a little while.
Okay. I played some Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door, and I finished Hellblade too.
You finished Oh, that's right. It's not long.
Yeah, that's kind of the controversy with this game.
About like 7 hours, I think. For me.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
most people said 5.
No, it's not 5. No.
Okay. Well, I did an hour of Hellblade.
Yep. You did 2 hours. I looked.
Oh, 2 hours? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Appreciate you. I did
friend.
2 hours of Hellblade, and I also started Paper Mario,
Sweet.
Thousand Year Door.
We played the same thing.
All right, so I'll just get into my qualms. I can pretty much almost fully review this game without getting into the ending.
You need the ending. Yeah.
I know the ending is paramount. We will get to that one in our spoiler talk because this is the most delayed spoiler talk we've ever had.
Yeah, I don't even remember the game anymore.
You're gonna be watching a 3-hour YouTube video.
It's been too long.
Yeah, we're gonna start it off with, and then when Squall. Sorry, wrong game. I forgot what game it was.
Oh my god!
But I can obviously see now where a lot of people had their patience tested with this game. I don't know what game developer who decided Gungaga was a fun region. That was the most painstaking region I've out of the entire game. And who thought it was fun to attract chickens with a feed clanker and roll that around on a rope? Is that part of the original game?
No.
Okay.
It's not.
I'm just making sure because that was terrible.
That was great.
What games are made to be fun. Side quests should be fun. This is not fun. I have and the mushroom picking portion of one of the side quests in Gungaga, it's not very clear. I had to look up a YouTube video to figure that out, and it's just all of these things where I'm definitely getting my side mission fatigue, but I'm the most fun in the game is those main missions. I'm enjoying. I just went through the whole trial with Red 13.
Yes.
And his entire character development. I finally know more about him, like I wanted.
And his real voice.
Yes, and his real voice.
Yes, and his real voice. I'm a real boy.
It's always fun. It was funny to me during that entire time, just because I know Craig. We know somebody that did this.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we know someone who hides his voice.
Yep.
Because he doesn't like the way it sounds and to be treated more like an equal instead of a child. And I was like, wow, this is actually actually on point.
Makes sense. Yep.
Yeah. This is something that had I have almost an attachment to this character now.
Yeah.
And I like that it forces you to play Red 13 because now like I like Red 13's character. I enjoy like
Mm.
how to play with him and how to use him a lot more now. Where Kate Sith, every time I get one of his stupid megaphones, I just want to throw it away.
I didn't use Kate Sith a lot either.
Did you do Kate Sith section yet?
Kate's, I guess not.
Okay, no, you didn't. That's fine. That made me want to pull my hair out.
Yeah.
Oh God.
You're talking. Yeah,
you're
The boxes.
you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's a fun one.
I agree with you, Barry, though, on Gungaga's region.
Yeah.
It was not. And like, I'm usually a big fan of when we switch it up and get to like a lush forest environment in games, because you can make that look beautiful with a PS5 now or Xbox or, obviously a high computer now.
It's just terrible to navigate. It is.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Like, at least in Cosmo Canyon, you can fast travel to one of the high points that you jump off of and go from there. Where in Gungaga, there's one of the REM wave towers that you have to use a mushroom to get to, and you have to like circle around the entire area, go up a couple stairs, take this mushroom to get to this mushroom takes you to the next one, and then that mushroom will take you to the REM wave. No, that is stupid.
It's real bad. Yep.
It is utterly annoying. It tested so much of my patience. I didn't think that I was going to like do all of the side missions and things like that after Gungaga, but Cosmo Canyon kind of won me back over. That one's a lot more easier to get through, and I enjoyed my time in Cosmo Canyon, quote unquote. But I'm glad you're starting to get into the meat and potatoes. I'm finally done with the salad. I'm done with the soup. Yep. I'm into the potatoes.
You are.
I'm eating the meat of the story,
and that area you're in has a great mission, like real creepy.
Mm-hmm. Nibelheim, it's great.
Yeah, Nibelheim has a great mission.
Yeah, I'm getting my doses of Zach Fair in there sometimes.
There's quite a bit of him in there in this game.
Yeah, it's just like
I hated every second of it.
Yeah, so and I get that because it's all it is walking. That's all his sections are, and the one time you actually that's what
payoff at the end. Woo, the payoff.
It's worth it. And you're right, he's got this huge sword on his back, and all his parts are bring soup to Cloud. Like,
go find this person. Yeah, but boy, the payoff is there.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. I know the payoff is going to be
very.
That's such
my feelings with the end of the game, and we'll talk about it when you're done. And specifically towards Zach's how he factors in was making me excited. So I know Barry's going to stand up off his couch and go, "Yes, I can see you doing it." You're going to. I promise.
I'm just excited. You guys are making me all more excited.
He's gonna be so pumped.
You're gonna scare the roommate. You're gonna scare the dog. Like you're gonna.
Yep. Good luck.
Good luck.
just mainline it now to get to the end.
Yeah, it feels like I'm gonna have to. It feels like that's what you guys want me to do. I am only 10 levels away from max, according to you, Craig. So I may just get there. Max. I may just get there for the hell of it. We'll see. But I am so like you guys making me excited. I'm
it's so good. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Honestly, the only tough things you have left. I mean, there's the Kate Sith section, which is going to try your patience.
It will.
And then there's obviously, the part where you reset and there's stuff everywhere that you've already been to do again, but you don't have to do that stuff.
No, you don't. You can.
And I would almost recommend not doing it and just go right to the end. Unless there's like certain areas of the story you want to see, right? Then do those ones. That's what I did. I was like, I'm interested in the I even forget what they're called now, all the little fragments that you're collecting.
The proto relics.
Yeah, proto relics. I was interested in that. I was interested in seeing the ending of the card game. So I was like, I'm doing those.
I probably will end up doing those as well.
But everything else I was just kind of like, I don't care.
Yeah, and like Queen's Blood, that had a cool little.
It did.
It had a neat little ending.
It did.
To
it was cool.
Yeah, cool. It was cool.
Yep. Am I gonna see Vincent here soon? I know, like he's a big favorite. Okay.
Yes.
And
Vincent
is he
coming.
You're
Is he
gonna see
part of a
Vincent.
side quest or is he part of a main mission?
Oh, you're gonna see Vincent, man. You're gonna
Main.
You're gonna
Okay,
main.
is it main? That's what I'm wondering.
Vincent
Yeah.
Vincent in the original is a playable character.
Yeah.
Yes,
Not playable in this game.
he's not. No.
He will be in the next one for sure.
Yeah, he has to be.
Cool. I'm excited for you to finish it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot like how it was with God of War with me, where like in God of War, the renown, like you get through the whole what is that section called? But it's the whole running through section where you're running through the forest and
Oh yeah,
Freya's
that's
brother.
Craig's favorite part.
Brother's blank dies, and like then they introduce you to that other section full of stuff, and I just went no.
Yep. Negative. So did I.
I do plan on probably that's probably gonna happen to me. I'm gonna get to where I want to be, and I'm gonna be like, no.
Just pick the important stuff to you.
Yeah.
Because it really doesn't matter. If you care that much, you can go back afterwards and do it.
I'm gonna kill Sephiroth. I'm gonna kill him.
Good luck,
Barry. I think you will like the Vincent Valentine part.
Vincent's
like
great.
a lot.
He's like one of my favorite characters.
I know
Yeah,
he's one of your favorites, so
Yeah, he's fantastic.
I love
so.
Vincent. Okay. Which one do we want to talk about first, Craig? Which one? Paper Mario.
Let's do Hellblade.
All right, cool. You can go first. You played 2 hours.
I played 2 hours. So very immersive in terms of how they deliver. Kudos. What do you know? What's the actress's name who does?
I
Senua?
don't know her name.
Okay, I need to memorize her name because like if you're talking about again acting the crap out of it, she does a fantastic job. Her facial expressions while she's battling a combination of sanity, the voices in her head, and her pain at the same time, like they really get you engrossed. I like the one-on-one battling aspect of it.
So real quick, the actress's name is
thank you,
Milena Jurgens.
Milena Jurgens.
I put her on my list for performance of the year.
Yeah. She has to be. As soon as you could watch 5 minutes of that and just say like, oh my gosh. And honestly, if I was like a director or something, I would, and like, let's say I was like a kid of mine was playing that game or something, I would be asking about her for like in terms of casting. But I do like the one-on-one battling system. It makes it a little, I don't know if it makes it more intimate because you're really trying to focus on one, but that first big scene, to not ruin something, but the first big scene, Craig, you obviously know when you're fighting those collection of enemies.
Yeah.
And because there's other people that are fighting around you, you're getting pushed into one battle. You do it, you fight it. And then I think that scene was well orchestrated.
Yep.
It had me kind of wondering if Senua was going to be okay. What was I fighting next? Like that type of thing. So I really enjoyed that. And even what would be considered, I guess, the most walking simulator of it so far, which is the first portion. Also, by the way, the amount of times that they say Northman in the game is hilarious. Anyway, but when you're walking through that Northman slaver area while seeing people getting hurt and killed and such like that, it's pretty heavy considering the lack of battling that you do in that portion. You know, you do a couple, they tutorial you a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
But I got so far what I wanted as a continuation from the first game. I can't make an in-depth analysis yet on whether the first game is better yet in terms overall, but it's more of what I want, which is just Senua, her battle with her demons, her past. There's freaking voices in the head. I love them. So I love that so much. Like, it's a very good depiction on somebody who's struggling with that. You could tell they put the time and the work and they did the consultation again before they delivered their final product. So that's what I like. That's so far where I'm at with it.
Yeah. I never beat the first one at all. And the reason I didn't was I have a dislike for the puzzles in the first one with the find the
Yeah,
symbols.
absolutely. Yeah.
I despise that. In this game, you do it maybe 4 or 5 times total.
Okay.
So it's
That's
like
fine.
they understood, like, you know what, like there's other puzzles we can do, and there are a lot of puzzles that are so much better. Um, this is firmly in top 10 for me this year, easily. Maybe even top 5.
Let's
It's
go.
one of the most it's the best looking game I've ever played, easily. Like nothing else even comes close. Um, and it is a lot of walking. Um, I know I'm usually against that, but like it works if you have a good story, right? Like what Firewatch back in the day, walking
Hmm.
simulator, but that works.
Mm,
If the story is engrossing enough and the acting is good, I don't mind that I'm walking, for 15 minutes listening to dialogue, and then I get a puzzle, and then maybe I walk again for another 15 minutes, and then I have a fight scene. Um, they build on those fight scenes where it's always one-on-one. It's never more than one at a time. But the way they do it is so well done with like you might like you'll kill you're pairing and you kill one guy, and then somebody else comes flying into frame and knocks you over. It's just like super intense. And this is very, very close to a horror game.
mm,
It's like right on the edge. When you get because like we've seen in the trailers like the whole thing with the giants, right? The game essentially, without spoiling
yeah.
anything, comes down to killing giants. I think you kill 3 of them, I believe, but like you have this big build up the first couple hours to the giant, right? And when you finally see the giant for the first time, and it comes out of like like the smoke
Cave.
or the clouds, yeah, and it's not a cave. The second one's in a cave.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Oh yeah. Okay.
uh,
That's the one from the trailer.
the one from the
Yeah,
trailer
that's
is
what
the
I was
second one.
thinking.
That's the
Yeah.
second
Okay.
one. So the first one that comes out, and it's just like you don't see it, but you hear it, and she keeps saying like, "Oh, I hear it," and you're walking along, and you're like trying to see it, and it comes out, and it's like bent over backwards on its hands, and its head's like twisted sideways, and I was like, "Oh," you know what I mean? Like the first time
Let's
it was
go.
scary, man. It scared me, and I was like, I don't like that at all. And it's a lot of that, but those 3 end up being like your boss battles in the game, and they're all done kind of the same way, but they're done insanely well. um, so your payoff to these bigger boss battles are worth it. The first one I did, and I was like, oh, that's a moment of the year for me. Like that's one of my gaming moments of the year. And then I did the second one. I was like, oh, that's it. And then I did the third one. I was like, oh, that's it. You know what I mean? Like they just keep building on it. Um,
Sounds like Final
it's
Fantasy
yeah,
16.
exactly. It's an incredible game, and coming from someone who did not like the first one because of those puzzles, I'm glad that they figured out that like we don't need to do that same puzzle 25 times. Like let's let the story speak for itself. um i really I really think everybody should play it the whole way through. It's not long. You could technically beat it in a day if you really wanted to. I beat it like 3 days. I like cut it in thirds. And I absolutely love it. For sure, don't put it down and don't pick it back up. Like finish it. Don't
Got it.
forget about it.
He's talking to both of
I'm
us.
talking to both of
Anybody
you.
watching and listening, because
That's what
we all have,
that's the next game. Like
Yeah, for sure.
that is what I will be playing next.
What I want the whole time I'm playing this game, and I'm getting towards the end, and I'm seeing these fight scenes that you're doing and these battles with the giants. The thing that kept popping into my head is I want Ninja Theory so bad to make a game like this in the Lord of the Rings universe, because it would be so incredible. Their storytelling, that like this is the new Unreal Engine, right? It looks incredible. Like you cannot distinguish between in game, like it's all in game, but like computer generated in real life is very hard to tell in this game, for a
yeah.
lot of it. And I was like, I just want a Lord of the Rings game like this. It'd be so cool.
Hmm.
So cool. Give
Yeah,
me
and you
that.
know what? like two things about like to build on your point there. In the beginning, like first 25 minutes, you're walking and you're Senua and you're by yourself and you're walking through all this like rubble. You're trying to like figure out your way along this beach area, and you have to, and you're just walking like the whole time. Haven't fought anybody yet. Don't have the sword.
Yep.
Or it might have been right after you got the sword, and you have to go like under a boat.
Yeah.
Just to get to the other side, and for a game that is primarily walking and traversing with listening to people like in your head, you're in that thing, the tide's coming in, she almost drowns, and then like there's just dead people in the water, and it's just such a great scene the way it's done. The camera pans in on her face from where you're crawling into the boat, and you could see her like trying to survive. Like it's just another level.
Yep.
It's just another level, and I have no doubt that it's going to be one of my favorite games of the year. Either like what I've already seen thus far, I haven't even gotten to a giant yet,
Yeah.
and
that's where it really takes off. Yeah.
So, but it's so fantastic so far for me.
Okay, and then Paper Mario, I've played a little bit of so far. I've never played the original. Seems like more Paper Mario. Is that fair to say? I'm enjoying it. You don't like it?
No, I strongly have a feeling on this.
Okay, go ahead.
So, in my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, there's Paper Mario, there's Thousand Year Door, there's Origami King, or am I missing an installation in the third?
There is one other installation.
Is it after this one or before it?
It's after.
It's after? Okay, so I love the original Paper Mario. Mm-hmm. I can see why this game is revered by a lot of fans of the series, because there is more Paper Mario, but you can see how they took it and made it better, more exciting for an RPG. Like for example, like the introduction of the crowd in there, you could see that's highly evident in Origami King, and I was like wondering like what step they took to that, and like there it is, like point blank. Interaction with the crowd, they throw things on stage, and it could be good or bad. If it's bad, you got to hit X in order to like stomp out that person. Then you get back to the battle. There's people running up on stage while you're fighting, and just for anybody at home, when you are battling somebody, it is on a stage. So there's people that run up on there, they like pull things so the environment crashes down, and it could hit you, it could hit the enemy you're fighting. But I really do like the battle system. I see where it has stuff from the first one, and there's just more there. And for me, it's hard to put down. There's certain environmental things that they've done in this one as well that just make it more colorful, more vibrant. I'm on the second major world. Yeah, I'm on the second major world, and it's awesome. It's awesome. I love it.
Okay.
I love it thus far. It's more Paper Mario and more, and I could see why people love it as well.
That's fair. I'm excited to play more. I was just like, I need to finish Hellblade, so I was like focused in.
I see what happened with our weeks, Craig. I put more into Paper Mario, yeah, and I did, yeah. I see where they cross. So
yep. Sweet.
But yeah, that's it, right? We're on to movies.
The movie it up.
Movies and TV shows where, if you guys can imagine, with me putting so many hours into Final
Fantasy. You watch nothing.
I've watched Final Fantasy cutscenes.
Oh, I thought you were...
I watch Advent Children.
I thought that's what he was going to say.
I couldn't get enough Final Fantasy, so I watched Advent Children. And then Spirits Within.
And then
Kingsglaive.
Oh God. Okay. I watched The Fall Guy, Challengers, and Godzilla x Kong. Knocked out 3.
Wow, you did. I watched Immaculate.
Oh yes,
that's Immaculate. That's it. How about I just get Immaculate out, and then you could go with your.
Yeah,
with your
I want to know your opinion on that great movie.
Yeah, so like,
that's the same face I had.
I don't share. If I remember correctly, Craig, please correct me if I'm wrong.
Uh-huh.
I don't share the same disdain for Sydney Sweeney as an actress,
Yeah.
but
Right.
because when you were describing it, weren't you describing not really being a fan of hers, or at least of her
Yeah,
acting style?
she's a nun still acting like she's in high school. Her
Yeah, so that's
yeah.
I don't know if that phrase was fresh in my head, but like that was something that I noticed. So I don't know what I was thinking. I tried to not remember what you said about the movie for the most part, just in case to not like
Yeah.
ruin anything for me. But you didn't do any real spoilers. But I thought that this movie was advertised as some type of like exorcism
Me
type
too.
thing, and it was not. It was not. Um, where I'm in Havesville here, where like I didn't dislike it, but it wasn't like it wasn't an amazing movie. So I think the premise was good. I was surprised towards the end at what the antagonists ended up being, or who they ended up being, and that end was weird to me. It was weird. Like I don't know if I'll watch it again. It really kind of transitioned into, and like my wife put it best. My wife's not a fan of like the whole necessarily like overly religious like at a convent type of movie, because every depiction of it is like the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she put up a good point. Like this felt similar to Nun 2 in terms of like the setting, which felt similar, you know, because of just that heavy religious convent kind of thing. But it wasn't immaculate. It wasn't an
I
immaculate
see what he
movie.
did there. See what he did? You see that?
It wasn't an immaculate movie, but it got the job done. And I think Sydney Sweeney did her best acting at the end
Yeah.
with that
That's
scream,
yeah.
like
From
that scream.
the reviews I heard, like her acting, like kind of goes up toward the end.
It gets better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it definitely progresses throughout the movie. But Craig, you're kind of right. She's like she's somebody who's being sworn into that convent, but she still seems secular.
Yeah.
And it just didn't. And I mean, there's a couple of nuns that don't like her when she goes in, and I'm like, oh, that's why, you know. So, but uh, I won't say don't watch it. I'll say I paid six
Greg will.
dollars to rent it, and
I will. Yeah.
yeah, I'll say don't pay $6 to rent it like I did. Wait till it's free. I just really was getting a little antsy. We're waiting on some movies to like be available free stream, with hopefully based on the 45-minute agreement that Abigail will be free on June 3rd
Right.
if it's following the NBC Peacock agreement. But in any case, you know, it's for me it's in between Craig's don't see it and me don't pay $6 for it. I you know.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, if it's streaming, I don't. You could totally, yeah, sure, watch it. I just that ending was so bad.
It was weird.
Okay, so the Fall Guy, Ryan Gosling's love letter to stuntmen. That movie is absolutely fantastic. I love that movie to death. If you let Ryan Gosling be Ryan Gosling, you're gonna have a good movie. I think it's proven at this point. Barbie and also Fall Guy. I just love that, like, it's the opportunity to see how stunts are done, but also have an entertaining movie behind it. And it is also very funny and just all around an incredible movie. I wish I would have saw it in theaters, but again, I was literally going to go see it last weekend, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll go this weekend, and it's up for rent. And I was like, okay, here we go again. Like
Yeah.
it's been in theaters for what, like maybe a month, if that, and you can already rent it at home. So,
Okay.
definitely recommend watching that one. I'm trying to I try to make all these like no spoilers, because I know, like, movies especially, you don't want to know
Yeah.
the majority of it. Challengers, the tennis movie. I don't know how I feel about this movie. It's very weird. It's very has a lot of sexual tension. Um, a lot. uh, I don't know. I think that, like, it's a lot of it all has to go around like two guys who are friends playing tennis, and they get like end up not being friends anymore because of a girl, and she kind of gets in between them, and it's all based around like one tennis event where they end up playing each other. The payoff at the end was, I thought, very cool how they did it. It kind of goes like, they like set it up and set it up the whole movie, then you get to the end and there's your payoff. That was done well, but it's just a weird movie. I would love to know how Tom Holland feels about this movie. Seeing his significant other in this movie has got to be, I know he was hyping it up when it came out, but I wonder how he felt in the theaters watching that movie, because it had to be uncomfortable. But I don't know. I feel like, I guess, watch it if you're interested. I don't know that I would fully recommend it. I'm glad I watched it, but I would never watch it again. And then Godzilla X Kong was more Godzilla and Kong. Like, to go from a movie like Challengers, that's like kind of a thinker, and then Godzilla and Kong, which is like, don't think, just watch pretty colors, and Godzilla and King Kong and all this stuff. I will say this though. I know Godzilla has always been this way, but I was watching this with my family yesterday, and like, you get to like the big end fight scene, and like with all these movies, like Godzilla and Kong are teaming up to fight like the big bad, right? And they're in Rio de Janeiro, and they're just like demolishing every building in Rio de Janeiro, and I'm like, oh my god, they just killed another 1,000 people. And it's supposed to be like Godzilla is like the protector of Earth, right? Like, he sleeps in the Coliseum, and he wakes up when danger comes and goes and fights the danger. But when he fights him, he ends up killing thousands of people, because
Yeah.
he just like picks up a building and throws it. You know what I mean? I'm like, there are people in that building, but these type of movies, you're just not supposed to think about that, I guess. But it looks very good, and I enjoyed it. It's a dumb, stupid popcorn movie, and I really like those. So like, I would watch that movie again, 100%.
I don't know why I had stopped with those, because I grew up, actually. My dad's a big Godzilla fan, so I
Okay.
grew up like watching like the old,
Yeah, the
like
weird ones.
the weird, yeah, the old ones, which are classics, even before like the Matthew. I'm talking about like the originals,
Yeah.
So I don't know why I've stopped watching it, in terms of these newer movies, but I should check that one out.
You're older and
Definitely.
more refined.
No, but
Yes.
there's a place for like all these movies that have to be so like smart now. Every once in a while, I enjoy a good dumb movie.
Oh yeah, give me a dumb movie every once in a while.
Like, I
Yeah,
don't need to be thinking all the time. Just make it look cool.
we are hardworking Americans, and
It's
we think
true.
we think a lot.
Just give me dumb
I want to
movies.
stop thinking.
There we go.
All right, well, that's going to be it for this week's podcast. A little bit shorter than usual, but we are a little light on news, and I play nothing but Final Fantasy.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody for listening. Please make sure, if you're on your listening to us, please make sure to leave a review on your podcast listening platform of choice. Share it with a friend if you feel so inclined. Share it on your social media as well. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to comment and subscribe and like the video. Comment on how I have a feeling I got the Paper Mario thing wrong. We'll see. Let me know if I got the Paper Mario thing wrong. And just let us know of any other big news that you think we might have missed. We would appreciate it, and we get it on the next podcast with credits to you.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for listening / watching. We will see you guys next time. Bye.
See ya.
Peace, guys.